Hey everyone. Today we are doing a kind of part two of yesterday's lesson. We're doing a little more with inequalities, and um, you can see that from the packet today, we just have some practice with inequalities with putting them on a graph. And I just wanted to give you a real quick kind of review reminder of how to do that so that you can get your practice done without any trouble. On the front side of your handout, it again reviews the different symbols that we use for inequalities. So remember that we have less than, which kind of looks like the letter L here. We have greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and then sometimes not equal. So we're going to be using those in this first part to write an inequality for each sentence. I've got the first two here for you. You must be 18 years of age or older. We need to create an inequality to represent that. So, um, based on what the answer he's going to look like, you're going to want to use the variable x just so it looks the same as what the answer he is showing. Now, it doesn't matter which side the x is on in the inequality. Just like in equations, we can switch the order of those equations and still have them mean the same thing. But in this case, um, we'll put x on the left side, and we need to compare that to 18 being the age qualification. It says you must be 18 years of age or older. So we want whatever this person's age is to be more than 18 or equal to 18. 18 years of age or older. So we can equal 18, we can be greater than that. And that's how you would write an inequality to represent that statement. X is greater than or equal to 18. For the next one, it says your speed must be 55 miles per hour or less. So using X again as our variable, must be 55 miles per hour or less. So 55 is okay. That means we can equal 55, or it needs to be less than 55. And that's how we would write that, as X is less than or equal to 55. Okay, go ahead and do the rest of that practice, and then of course check the answer key before going on to the next part. On the next part, it says when graphing, and this is just a little reminder of how we use graphing. We talked about open and closed circles yesterday a little bit on graphs, but just as a review, this says to put the circle over the number when we do our graphing, so it doesn't get kind of jumbled up here on the graph. We'll put it above, and that's fine to do. Then we'll shade in the numbers that X can be, or draw a line with an arrow for that. So again, it's reminding you to use an open circle, and an open circle is that empty circle. Use an open circle for less than or greater than, and we use a closed circle, which is a shaded in circle, when we're talking about less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to. So either of those would work. Now let's look at the first graph. So n is greater than 1. So refer back here, we want to use an open circle if we're talking about just greater than. We don't want to include the number that we're starting at, which is 1. So 1 here on the number line is going to have an open circle, and then we would want numbers greater than 1. So we're going to go to the right here. Now, if you wanted to draw that here on the number line and do it this way, that'd be fine. It's just a little bit harder to see that way. And for the next one, this one again is going to use an open circle because we're saying r is greater than 4. For open circles, that's what we use here. And so we'll go to 4. We'll make an open circle, and then we want values greater than 4. So we're going to go to the right. All right. Go ahead and continue on through that practice. And then we have one more that we're going to take a quick look at. All right, at the bottom of the handout here on the front side, again, it's reviewing if the circle is open, what kind of symbols to use. If the circle is closed, what kind of circles or what kind of symbols to use. And just refer back to what we just talked about here. And now we're going to reverse this. Instead of drawing the graph, which is already done for us, we're going to write the inequality for each graph. So because this is an open circle, I'm going to use greater than or less than. You can just pick a variable, n, x, whatever. X, I would say, whoops, gets used pretty typically. And we know that we're starting at the point, if we count from 0, -1, -2, starting at the point -2. But because it's an open circle here, we can't have equal to -2. We can only have values, since we're going to the left, that are less than -2. So x is less than -2. Now, if you wrote it the other way and you put x on the right side, that's completely fine, but we have to make sure that our symbol reflects that. So we still need all of our x values to be smaller than -2. So we're actually going to write it that way. We're going to write -2 is greater than x to represent that same situation. Okay, let's look at the next one. Again, we're starting here at 4. So we have our variable x. We're starting at 0.4. Because it's an open circle, it's not going to equal 4. It must be all values, since we're going to the right, all values must be greater than 4. Okay, and again, if you reversed it, that's okay. We would put 4 and x, and the symbol must go the other way for that to be true, because we're still saying all of these x values must be bigger than 4. 4, it would be less than x. All right, I hope that helps. I will be on Zoom to answer questions today, but please do this practice. Use it to get familiar with the inequalities that we learned about yesterday, and have a good start as we go into the inequality expression or equation, well, the inequality statements that we're about to be looking at in future lessons. Everybody have a great day.